Welcome to the Binge List, fellow TV and film fanatics. I'm Greg and I make recommendations for TV shows and movies you can access from the comfort of your own home. And today I'm bringing you 15 fantastic shows and miniseries that are perfect to start binging right away. Whether you're craving comedy, action, adventure, sci-fi, this diverse list has something for everybody, including a few of my personal favorites. And this is the third list like this from 2024. I do one of these once a quarter, so you'll find similar lists from back in March and July featuring shows like Masters of the Air, House of the Dragon, Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Gentleman, tons of awesome options. But this is not a duplication of either of those lists. The titles on those lists are excellent shows and you can check out those videos after you watch this one. But this is brand new picks, 15 of them that you can add to your watch list this year. So stop mindlessly scrolling, stop wasting your time. Let's jump in and check out that list.
Why don't you get a cat?
I have one right here.
You have to buy a tiger.
You can't get tigers in Florida, idiot.
There was a documentary about it, dumbass.
The first title on my list today here is going to be the new Apple TV Plus series Bady Monkey, starring Vince Vaughn as this washed-up detective who's turned now into a restaurant inspector named Andrew. Things get really weird when he comes across a severed arm that essentially pulls him back into a world of corruption and danger. And honestly, Apple has been on a roll lately with their shows, and this one is no exception to that. This series is awesome. It's got a good mix of humorous and suspenseful moments that keep you engaged throughout. And Vince Vaughn really feels like he fits this role perfectly. His character is this pretty complicated overall character, but he's funny, he's witty, he's also cynical and sometimes tragic all at the same time. And it really feels like a classic Vaughn performance that really made him popular in those older movies. And I also enjoyed the supporting cast. You get Natalie Martinez, Rob Delaney, Jodie Turner-Smith, and Michelle Monaghan, who all contribute to the entertainment of this one. Some in some more conventional ways, while others bring some more, well, eccentric elements to the series. And even with this being a comedy series led by a comedic actor, the story feels well written. It has plenty of plot twists and turns that make you eager for the next episode. So check out Bady Monkey. It's a solid crime drama that's worth checking out if you're a fan of Vince Vaughn or you just like quirky crime dramas.
America's a hustle. Not that I'm complaining.
Next on the list is a show that is just starting, but the first two episodes are outstanding, so I wanted to make sure to include that on this list, and that is The Penguin on Max. This one serves as a spin-off of the Batman film, with Colin Farrell continuing his role as Oswald Cobblepot, aka the iconic Batman villain, the Penguin. Right at the start of this one, they show you that this takes place almost immediately following the events at the end of the Batman movie, and it follows Cobblepot's rise to power as he navigates this city's underworld. I thought Farrell's performance in the movie was incredible, a crazy physical transformation of course, but he also changed how he spoke, how he walked, and even his mannerisms to create this menacing character. And this show allows him to flesh that character out even further. You really delve into the character's development. It's really on point. It gives you a deep dive into his backstory and his motivations. You understand why he is the way he is or does things the way he does. And if you like the tone of the Batman film, the director Matt Reeves is a producer on this show, and you get that same gritty and ground level atmosphere, so it feels very familiar. At this point, so far so good. The Penguin is a well-made crime drama that gives us a fresh and complex look at this DC villain.
I can move things without touching them. I just want it gone.
This is a game changer.
I don't think you should be using your powers for personal gain.
My next pick is one that was shared to me in the comment section, and I watched it and they were right. This one is another awesome option. Let's actually talk about Supacell. This is the first Netflix series on the list, and this tells the story of this group of regular people from South London who suddenly and seemingly randomly get superpowers. The stars Tosin Cole, who plays Michael, who is a delivery driver who's really got to figure out how to deal with these new powers while also dealing with a ton of personal drama. The show reminds me a lot of the series' Misfits or even Heroes, where it's not billionaire playboys, it's not army super soldiers or Norse gods that are getting these powers. These are just regular people becoming super and trying to navigate their regular lives. And it made the show feel really down to earth. The characters are well developed and easy to relate to, so you can really connect with the problems that they're facing. And you really can't have a superhero show without some action, and the action scenes in this one are done really well. I really enjoyed them. They pick really interesting powers for this group that gets together and show them off in cool and creative ways. So again, shout out to the comment section for another great pick. Supacell is a solid superhero series, and I definitely hope that they keep it going.
Did you know there's a rabbi here?
No shit.
Yeah.
Where?
He has a beard, and he was definitely judging me.
Sounds like a rabbi.
Who's your friend?
There's not a Jewish bone in her body, unless you put one in her.
You're the rabbi?
It's hot, right?
Up next is a show that I recently highlighted in my What's New in October video and ended up being hooked and binged it all in one day. And this is the rom-com Nobody Wants This on Netflix. This series stars Kristen Bell as Joanne, who is this agnostic sex podcaster in this series, and then Adam Brody, who is Noah, who is a newly single rabbi. And the series follows them from this embarrassing introduction to their unlikely romance as they navigate their wildly different lives and their meddling families. Kristen Bell and Adam Brody are outstanding in this one here. They obviously play these drastically different characters, but somehow it just fits together so well. I will say that good writing helps a ton, but their on-screen chemistry makes this show worth watching. Whether they are delivering the witty banter back and forth between each other, engaging in the more intimate moments, or just some heartfelt things that go on throughout the series, it really pops and they work so well together. I found myself laughing a good amount during this one, but the show just makes you feel happy and you catch yourself smiling and just enjoying the journey. And then the supporting characters help a ton too, including Joanne's sister and her mother, along with Noah's family, which adds a lot of the humor to the story through these just uncomfortable, awkward moments that you get to share with them. I did not expect to get so hooked on this show, but I did, and it is worth watching for Bell and Brody's performances alone, but it's this cool, unique rom-com that'll definitely make you smile.
This was a warning. The next time, you aren't going to see it coming.
Let's move forward and let's talk about the continuation of the gripping thriller, The Old Man. This is season 2 of this FX series that you can now catch on Hulu. It stars Jeff Bridges as Dan Chase, who is a former CIA operative who was forced back into action after decades of hiding. Bridges stars in this one, and he is a living legend in my mind, and this series again shows you why he is. He delivers a powerful and just truly badass performance as Chase, capturing the character's complexity and his vulnerability, his emotions during this one, showcasing just a wide range of his acting skills. And like a lot of shows on this list, there is a strong supporting cast in the series with him. You have John Lithgow, who is always amazing, but the characters who have the best on-screen chemistry with Bridges at this point is Dave and Carol, who are his trusty Rottweilers. They don't talk much throughout the series, but they have a ton of entertaining scenes with Bridges, and you come to find out that they're his fierce protectors. And this is a spy series, so the plot is filled with twists, turns, and action that keeps you engaged. And season 2 at this point, it's paced a little bit differently. It explores the emotions and the relationships of the characters quite a bit more than season 1 did. So check this one out. It is a well-crafted series that's perfect for fans of gripping spy dramas, and if you like Jeff Bridges like I do.
Why are you wearing your pajamas?
Come on.
Go home and get a suit.
Another show with a seasoned movie star leading the way is Tulsa King on Paramount Plus, starring Sylvester Stallone as this New York mobster who is exiled to Tulsa, Oklahoma. This year we got the highly anticipated season 2, and in this one, Stallone's character is looking to expand his criminal empire in the unfamiliar American South against these new enemies. And I said this before about this show, but I really enjoyed Stallone in this one as this fish out of water New York gangster. He does deliver his usual charismatic and tough guy performance, but he actually shows off a ton of comedic skills in this one. He's really funny, way funnier than you would anticipate playing this type of character. And the series' unique setting also adds a layer of charm and some unexpected humor to the story. It does give a familiar and quirky feel to a mobster themed show, where they're hustling down a local company for protection money, but they're standing next to a horse in stables. It's just an interesting combination, and Stallone is great in this one, but the longer you watch it, the more you come to enjoy the supporting cast. You get Andrea Savage, Martin Starr, and Jay Will, adding a lot of different elements to the show. And I mentioned this last time I talked about this show as well. This series was created by Taylor Sheridan, who is best known for his work on Yellowstone. He also worked with Mayor of Kingstown. So if you enjoyed those shows, Tulsa King is a crime drama that you are definitely going to enjoy.
Jackson Lamb, you're in charge of the rejects.
I don't like being called that.
What do you call them?
The rejects.
So let's go back to Apple TV Plus for our next entry on the list, and this is the 4th season of Slow Horses, a compelling spy thriller series that stars the legendary Gary Oldman as Jackson Lamb. He is this disgraced MI5 agent relegated to this low-level department that is known as Slow House. This is season 4 of this show, where Lamb and his team of misfit agents are embarking on another perilous mission to uncover some conspiracy and some potentially devastating consequences. And just like Jeff Bridges, I think Gary Oldman is a phenomenal top-tier actor out there in the world right now. In this one, he delivers a masterclass in acting as Lamb. He's this complex and this enigmatic character who is intelligent, funny, and cynical all at the same time. And he really embodies the seasoned operative who has seen it all and understands really where his place in the world is at. And the show, it's filled with a cast of flawed yet very likable characters, each with their own unique quirks and motivations. I really like Slow Horse's blend of dark humor and witty dialogue with the intense spy thriller elements, while it uses spy cliches a ton throughout the series, to a point that it can actually feel like a parody at times, but it never seems to take itself too seriously, resulting in this unique and just entertaining option. And over 4 seasons, Slow Horses has developed a complex and sometimes convoluted plot, typical of spy thrillers, but however twisty and turny the series seems to get, it does keep you engaged and it feels very suspenseful. Slow Horses has a talented cast, it's got witty and dark humor, it's got a gripping plot. It's definitely worth checking out on Apple TV+.
I walk the night, capturing disappointment and regret. We stuck to tape. We should get every detail right.
I'm listening.
My next title on the list is Interview with a Vampire, and then let's talk about season 2 and all the episodes that are currently streaming on AMC Plus right now. And if you're not caught up to season 2, you can check out season 1 on Netflix to get yourself started. But this is a series based on the novel by Anne Rice, and the series stars Jacob Anderson as Louis, who is this vampire who is recounting his life to a young journalist. In this one, again, it does star Jacob Anderson, who, if you don't know or not familiar with, was Grey Worm from Game of Thrones, who played the stoic and typically unemotional mute. But now he's playing Louis in this one, who is this powerful and nuanced character. Anderson does a phenomenal job capturing the character's complexity, his ferocity at times, and his pure emotions, which to me feels like a very distinctly different character for Anderson, but he does show off his acting range with this one. And the series, it looks amazing. It's got this awesome gothic atmosphere, and it's dark and it's brooding tones at times. It is a perfect backdrop for the story that's being told. And I know this is a weird connection, but I personally love time travel, and being an immortal vampire is kind of like time travel, only in the sense that you're seeing a lot of it as you travel through time very slowly. Hopefully that makes sense, but throughout these characters traveling through large amounts of times, the show delves deep into their themes of love, loss, and the nature of human immortality, certainly offering you some things to think about. So if you're looking for something action-packed or fast-paced, this is probably not the title for you, but if you are looking for that thought-provoking drama that explores vampire mythology and quality characters, you'll likely find this one enjoyable.
I think she needs help. She comes to my work, my house. She sends me emails like all the time.
Are any threatening towards you?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's particularly threatening.
Next up on our list is the show Baby Reindeer, and this is a 2024 Netflix miniseries based on Richard Gadd's one-man dark comedy show of the same name. This series follows Donnie, who is this aspiring performer slash comedian who is played by Gadd in the show, as a man who is stalked relentlessly by this woman he meets at his day job, leading him to confront tons of trauma throughout the series. Let's start off by saying that this show is extremely crazy. It has a ton that goes on that can be pretty intense. So if you don't like darker topics, I would avoid this one because it does delve deep into the complexities of this trauma, exploring its impact on Donnie's life and its relationships. And in this one, you see Gad, who does a great job with his performance as Donnie, and Jessica Gunning, who plays the stalker, is just the right amount of crazy, but it's not all doom and gloom. Really, there are a lot of moments where it's actually really funny. It's mostly dark humor that is sometimes shocking, but mostly just extremely funny, providing you a unique perspective on this difficult subject. But you do need to get through that heavier and more heartbreaking topics of stalking or abuse to get to the comedy, so do be weary of that. While it's not for everybody, Baby Reindeer is a powerful and thought-provoking series that offers an interesting perspective on trauma and survival. Definitely worth checking out.
Where even are we?
I have no idea. Just like old times.
So let's move forward to a series that was dropped by Max and then Netflix picked it up, and that is The Tourist. And this one stars Jamie Dornan as a man with amnesia who wakes up in a hospital with no memory of his past, and the series follows him as he tries to piece together his identity while being pursued, and then season 2 takes the excitement and mystery to a whole new level. I think Jamie Dornan does a great job in this one. He delivers a compelling performance as the amnesiac protagonist, and actually throughout he even keeps stuff from us, the audience, which I thought was pretty interesting as he captures this character's confusion and fear, as well as the intensity and the drive to uncover his identity. And the series plot is incredibly suspenseful with mystery after mystery that keeps you glued into the screen episode to episode. And honestly, because this series is based on a mystery, I don't want to say too much, but this is a suspenseful story that is quality performance from Dornan and the supporting cast. Definitely worth checking out.
Agatha.
Who's been messing up everything?
The Covenless Witch.
It's been Agatha all along.
No. On to the first Disney Plus series on this list here, and this is Agatha All Along. And this is the mini-series that's a spin-off of the original WandaVision show. It stars Kathryn Hahn as Agatha Harkness, who is this powerful witch who is trying to reclaim the power that Wanda stole from her in that original series. And I've seen the first 4 episodes so far of this one, and I've got to say this one is one of those shows to me that is good at a lot of things, but it's not really great in any one particular area, which is not a bad thing. It is good. I am enjoying watching this with my wife, and Kathryn Hahn's performance as Agatha is pretty good. She's got some great comedic timing with the rest of the cast, which includes Aubrey Plaza, Joe Block, and Sashir Zamata. You get plenty of chuckles here, but you never really get those laugh out loud moments, and that's what I mean by it's not excelling in any area, but it's just good. And I do appreciate Marvel shows. I'm diehard, so I'm gonna watch this anyway, but this one does continue trying out different styles with their shows. And this one is actually exploring similarly to WandaVision, so there's plenty of fun costumes and the sets are changing as these witches go on their journey. And while the show so far seems a bit isolated, you are starting to see some of those Easter eggs and references that Marvel properties love to add in there, and it's always fun for a diehard fan like myself. So we're just about at the halfway, and I may end up eating my words on this one, but so far I'm enjoying this as a solid holiday MCU option. So if you like Kathryn Hahn, Aubrey Plaza, or the MCU, you'll probably enjoy this one here.
We who are about to die salute you!
Next up is the Peacock show Those About to Die, and this is a historical drama series that explores the world of ancient Rome. The series stars Ewan Rowan as Tenax, who is this cunning and ambitious figure who owns one of Rome's largest betting taverns and has a hand in organizing the gladiator races and games. Honestly, what grabbed my attention originally with this show was seeing that Anthony Hopkins and Ewan Rowan was starring in it. And I love both of these actors and just about everything that they've done. And Rowan does do a great job. He delivers a solid performance as Tenax, this main character, capturing the character's complexity, his ruthlessness. And Hopkins, though, who is great when he's on screen, is really not in the show all that much, or as much as I maybe thought he was going to be in it. Besides that, I do still really enjoy this series. I think it is gritty. It feels like it has a realistic portrayal of ancient Rome with authentic looking costumes. The architecture looks pretty cool, and then the struggles that these characters deal with on a day-to-day basis. You can't really talk about gladiators in Rome without talking about some pretty solid action that they're going to see in the Colosseum, and I do think it was solid. with what I would call some passable CGI and effects, but the show focuses a lot of its efforts on the plotting and the scheming of the characters going on behind the scenes rather than the actual action inside the Coliseum, which does make it a rather suspenseful episode to episode show, but in a different way than you probably think going into it. So this might not be the best ancient Roman show that you're ever going to see, but Those About to Die takes a look into the world with some solid performances and gritty drama. Absolutely worth at least checking out for yourself.
I'm gonna need you to walk me through what happened.
Last but not least is the most recent title that I finished on Netflix, and this is the miniseries Monsters, the Erik and Lyle Menendez story. This is the fictional retelling of the story of the infamous Menendez brothers who are convicted of murdering their parents in 1996. And before I go too far, I will say that this show delves deep into the brothers' lives, exploring their childhood and the events leading up to this and the subsequent trials, and there is nothing lighthearted about this series. I do feel like I have a pretty strong constitution with shows, but after a few episodes of this one, I needed to take a break, and knowing this is based on real events makes the discussions with these brothers just hit differently. So if darker topics or heavier topics are not for you, I would avoid this one altogether. But if you can handle it, or you just want to see what I mean, I do think the overall show is worth watching. This show has some really standout acting. You have Javier Bardem, Chloe Sevigny, Nicholas Chavez, and Cooper Koch playing the central family unit, and all of them deliver emotional and sometimes just truly haunting performances. At times during the show, they are these monsters who you just absolutely hate and you can't stand, and you hope they get what's coming to them. And then at other times, whether it's just good writing or good acting or whatever, you feel yourself starting to sympathize with them based on the abuse and the trauma that they've endured in their life. So overall, Monsters, the Erik and Lyle Menendez story, is a powerful and disturbing series that offers a complex and nuanced exploration of this case. While it might not be for everyone due to the graphic content, it is perfect for true crime fans. And that's going to do it for List today, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with me today. And I know every YouTuber says this, but take a second to like, subscribe, share the content. It does help us get our videos out to others looking for great content that they can watch from their home. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one.